Sophie Cunningham destroys Mystics. Indiana Fever win without Caitlin Clark. In the world of professional basketball, there are games that leave an indelible mark on a team's legacy. They are moments when players step up and make history, even when the odds are stacked against them. One such game took place between the Indiana Fever and the Washington Mystics, a match that would go down as one of the most dramatic and unexpected victories in recent WNBA history.
Now that's going to get me excited if we start seeing a lot of that in the league.
This will too.
Nice backdoor.
The Indiana Fever, a team often overshadowed by the presence of Caitlin Clark, found themselves without their star player. But it was Sophie Cunningham who rose to the occasion and led her team to a stunning victory. The situation. For the Indiana Fever, the 2024 season had been a roller coaster ride. There had been flashes of brilliance, but also moments of disappointment. Despite the talent on the roster, the Fever were still struggling to find their identity as a team. Caitlin Clark, one of the brightest young stars in the league, had been leading the charge with her exceptional skills. However, during a critical game against the Washington Mystics, the Fever found themselves in a difficult situation. Caitlin Clark was sidelined due to injury. Clark's absence was a major blow for the Fever, who had relied on her sharp shooting, playmaking ability, and leadership on the court. The Mystics, on the other hand, were riding high on confidence. With players like Elena Del Don and Natasha Cloud leading the way, the Mystics were seen as favorites to win. But what they didn't account for was the heart and determination of Sophie Cunningham, who would soon prove that the Fever were more than just a one-player team. The first half. The game began with the Mystics asserting their dominance early. Their defense was tight, and their offense flowed smoothly.
Olsen was the 23rd pick in the draft. One of those players trying to make this roster as Cunningham just fighting through traffic.
Indiana struggled to find rhythm, especially without Clark's ability to create scoring opportunities. The first quarter saw the Mystics take a commanding lead, with Del Don showing why she was a perennial all-star. The Fever's offense was stagnant, and the fans in the arena could feel the tension in the air. Was this going to be another disappointing loss for the Fever? But in those moments of uncertainty, Sophie Cunningham began to make her presence felt. Cunningham, known for her gritty, hard-nosed style of play, started to get into the flow of the game. While others were hesitating, Cunningham took control. On the defensive end, she was relentless, pressuring the Mystics' ball handlers and forcing turnovers. Her determination to win was evident as she dove for loose balls, contested shots, and gave her team the energy they needed. Offensively, Cunningham showed why she was more than just a role player. She knocked down a couple of key three-pointers, making sure the Fever stayed within striking distance. Her shots were timely.
Just tighten that up and get more efficient.
Often coming when the team needed a spark to keep them in the game. Despite the odds, Cunningham's fearless play began to inspire her teammates. The Fever were still trailing, but they were no longer out of the fight. The turnaround. As the second half began, it became clear that Cunningham was not going to let her team go down without a fight. She took it upon herself to be the leader on the court. Cunningham's confidence was contagious.
Fever have a game tomorrow, that rare preseason back-to-back, and you do have to be careful as Cunningham is left alone and drills a three.
With every shot she made, the Fever began to believe in themselves. Her three-point shooting, combined with her ability to drive to the basket and finish tough plays, helped the Fever chip away at the Mystics' lead. The Mystics, who had looked so composed in the first half, were now being pressured by a Fever team that was playing with a chip on their shoulder. One of the most memorable moments came midway through the third quarter, when Cunningham hit a contested three-pointer to give the Fever their first lead of the game. The crowd erupted and the Mystics were visibly rattled. Cunningham wasn't just scoring, she was taking over the game. On the defensive side, she continued to lock down Mystics players, especially Elena Del Don, who had been a constant threat. Cunningham's effort was not going unnoticed. She was outworking everyone on the floor, and it was paying off. The final minutes. As the fourth quarter approached, the game was tied, and both teams knew that the next few minutes would determine the winner. The intensity had reached a fever pitch, and every possession was crucial.
Just sort of best practices. We're trying to work on our replay, just tighten that up and get more efficient.
The Mystics, knowing they had the experience and the star power to win, were not going to give up easily. But the Fever, led by Cunningham, were not backing down. Cunningham continued to be the difference maker in the final minutes. With the shot clock winding down and the score tied, Cunningham found herself with the ball at the top of the key. She had been shooting well all game, but this shot felt different. The pressure was mounting and the game hung in the balance. With a defender closing in on her, Cunningham calmly stepped back and drained a three-pointer, giving the Fever a crucial lead. The arena exploded in cheers. Sophie Cunningham had just made one of the most clutch shots of her career. But the game wasn't over yet. The Mystics, still fighting, had one final chance to tie or win the game. With just seconds remaining, Natasha Cloud drove to the basket, but Cunningham, ever the defender, stepped up and made a crucial block, preventing any last-minute heroics from the Mystics. The ball bounced out of bounds, and with no time left on the clock, the game was over. The Indiana Fever had pulled off an improbable victory. Sophie Cunningham's legacy. While Caitlin Clark was certainly the star of the team, Sophie Cunningham's performance in this game solidified her place as one of the most underrated players in the league. She had stepped up when her team needed her the most and had delivered a performance that would be remembered for years to come. Her ability to lead, score, defend, and handle pressure had been on full display. After the game, Cunningham spoke to the media, reflecting on her performance and the win. "I just wanted to go out there and give everything I had for my team."
Fresh breath air, and we just have a really great group. We have a lot of great vets. We have a lot of young people who want to win, have the will to win, a bunch of dogs. And so I'm just coming in with a great attitude and just doing whatever the team needs me to do.
Caitlin is an incredible player, and we all know how much she means to this team. But we also know that we are more than just one player. Tonight, we showed that. The victory wasn't just about Cunningham's heroics, though. It was about the team. The Fever had proven that, even without their star player, they were capable of playing at the highest level. The win gave them a newfound confidence and showed that, on any given night, they could beat anyone. The aftermath of the game. For the Indiana Fever, this game was a turning point. It wasn't just a victory over the Washington Mystics. It was a statement. The Fever were a team that could compete in the WNBA, even when the odds were stacked against them. Sophie Cunningham's performance became a rallying cry for the team, and her leadership on and off the court became a symbol of what the Fever could accomplish if they played as a unit. For the Mystics, the loss was a tough one to swallow. They had been in control for much of the game, but couldn't close it out when it mattered most. They would need to regroup and learn from the mistakes they made, especially in defending against players like Cunningham, who had been unstoppable when it mattered most. Conclusion: the Indiana Fever's victory over the Washington Mystics was a triumph of resilience, teamwork, and individual brilliance. Sophie Cunningham's performance was the stuff of legends, and it showed that, in the world of basketball, anything is possible. Without Caitlin Clark, the Fever had found their true identity as a team, one that could win without relying on a single player. The win was a testament to the power of belief, hard work, and the will to fight, no matter what. The Indiana Fever had made a statement, and they were ready to continue their journey with newfound confidence. If you enjoyed the video, please don't forget to like and subscribe. Until next time.